Submitted. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all, regardless of where you're watching. And we invite you to join with us through technology, as you will see a YouTube link on your program that you can share with loved ones who are far away. We also have a new thing we tried this year. If you're not familiar with it, on the back of our program, there is a QR code that has a more developed and personalized program. We did a page for each graduate with their input. And I don't know, we thought it turned out really neat. So please check that out. These kids have done some really amazing things. What a wonderful night to celebrate the remarkable gifts, hard work, and efforts of this senior class. The West Jefferson graduate commencement exercises will begin now. Please rise and let's welcome the class of 2024.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bentley Loudonberry, your student body vice president. I'm happy to meet you for the commencement exercise. We expect the commencement exercise. You guys can be seated. We expect the commencement exercise to last approximately 1 hour. Joining me on today, the school board members, Dennis Cherry, Vice Chair Andrea Rigby, Mike Bergshaw, Nedra Perkins, and Chris Scott. Please join me for the invocation by bringing us in the bill. Dear God, Father, thank you for this day, thank you for letting us be here today and celebrating this graduation. Thank you for the teachers and ministers that helped us get here. Thank you for all the memories that we have gathered together throughout all the years. Thank you for the community and the love and support that they have showed and given us. And please bless that we start this new journey in our lives, so that we can find happiness and that we can find success in life. And please bless, thank you for all the blessings that you've given us, and we say these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. This time we ask that you please stand, and gentlemen, including the male graduates, please remove your hats and direct your attention to the flag at the east wall of the Union National. Thank you. I would like to introduce Joanna Saldana, our senior class president, for our welcome address.
Thank you, Bentley. It's an honor to be here at this event, at the high point of our academic year, because today we celebrate the accomplishments and academic achievements of our class. A little speech written down, if you don't mind. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to our graduation ceremony of the class of 2024. My name is Joanna Saldana and I'm the senior class president this year. Now I'd like to congratulate all my fellow classmates for the achievements today. Today we come together to celebrate, which doesn't happen often, but it happens, to celebrate the journey and mark the end of an unforgettable chapter of our lives. I want to thank our families, friends, faculty, and distinguished guests who are supporting us along the way. Okay, let's get to the point. We're here. We're graduating. We finally get to do things without worrying about how much attention we have to make out and how many notes we have to do for scores. Now I know that we're all excited to leave behind the notes and math finals behind, but let's not forget a valuable lesson we have learned along the way, like the art of procrastination, which we have perfected to an Olympic level. As we step into the real world, let's embrace the uncertainty and chaos that awaits us. Remember, life is like a multiple choice. Sometimes there's more than one right answer, and sometimes you just have to guess and hope for the best. In conclusion, I'd like to read a quote from an influential singer, Noah Kahan, and in his words, to you all, you're gonna go far, yes you are, and if you wanna go far, then you gotta go far. I would also like to say something for those who can't fully understand what I just said. A las familias y padres que están aquí con nosotros celebrando este gran día para sus hijos, gracias por estar aquí. Sin su apoyo y orgullo que nos tienen este día, no sería posible. No hay suficientes palabras para agradecer todo lo que ustedes han hecho para cada uno de nosotros que estamos aquí. Me da tanta felicidad que están aquí celebrando uno de los días más importantes de nuestras vidas. Estoy tan orgullosa que ustedes, tanto como nosotros, estamos para ustedes. De nuevo, gracias por estar aquí y especialmente gracias a mis papás y mis hermanos por todo el amor que me han mostrado. Sí, se pudo, mamá. Thank you. Now allow me to introduce our student body president, Cicely Jacobs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered today to celebrate the achievements of a group of exceptionally talented and bright individuals. Today, this year, the graduating class of 2024 has earned $873,400 in offered scholarships, and as a class, we have earned 560 college credits to date. Please join me in a round of applause for this class's academic achievement. You will also see in our digital program an amount that each student has been offered since the date the program was created, and how many individual college credits they have earned. We wanted to celebrate the achievements of the students in this class, and we are excited for you to see what they have done in the digital program. We apologize as more offers have come in even yesterday, and we hope that this will reflect most of the awards and credits earned. Now we will watch the senior slideshow that our senior class president has made for our journey and memories through our school years. Please note that if you're viewing this through our YouTube link, the senior slideshow will go silent because of copyright issues. The sound will resume after the slideshow ends. Now I'd like to introduce our principal, Mrs. Goff.
Graduates and guests, it's now my honor to recognize something really unique and special about the senior class. We have 16 students who all have weighted GPAs over 4.0, which is pretty impressive. And they get this by taking dual credit classes, which are weighted on a 5-point scale for those courses. We wanted to honor this by celebrating such outstanding academic achievement. And as their former teacher, I'd also like to mention the positive peer pressure that they have had and exerted upon each other to continue to achieve such high grades. I've watched at bigger schools how they honor this, and I wanted to make sure that we did that. And I even wanted them all to speak, but I was overruled, and probably by all of you as well. But I haven't forgotten how all those students who have maintained such academic excellence were honored at the schools. And I believed tonight that we needed to do that. These 16 students have also taken dual credit classes, which challenge them even further. It's a privilege to recognize such academic achievement at our small little school. This is very unusual, and I think in the 27 years that I've been here, I have not seen a class that have had this many students with a 4.0 or higher. Well, they all have higher than 4.0, which is outrageously impressive. And I didn't think it could be ignored. So could I get all 16 valedictorians to please stand? So since they wouldn't let me, and you probably wouldn't let me, have all 16 speak, we are going to have our top 2 seniors with the highest weighted GPA over the 4.0. They'll be speaking as a representative of this bright group of kids, not just the ones who are wearing a valedictorian thing though, all of them. They all have so many talents and so many things that they're good at, and that's what's so cool about this class. So we will first hear from Jenna Wigman and then Cicely Jacobs.
Thank you, Scott. And okay, this is how I'm going to start it. I hope everyone knows that the legacy we leave will impact others for generations. Maya Angelou once said, if you're going to live, leave behind a legacy, make an impact on the world that can never be erased. Don't we all want this? We all know that Google is always right. So I decided to consult Google on what a legacy is. This is what I found. It is the amount of money or property left to someone in a will. This is not what I was expecting, so I looked again. This time, it said, it is the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that take place in the past or of a person's life. This is what Maya Angelou was talking about. The things accomplished, the efforts made, and the relationships built. Everything that will someday impact others. We all want to leave behind a legacy, and this day, our graduation is the start of that, but we must decide to make one for ourselves. Someone once said, you can't make footprints in the sands of times if you're sitting on your butt, but who wants to make footprints in the sands of times? The answer is no one does, and although this is kind of funny, there is truth to it. We actually have to do something to be remembered for something. So when moving forward, we now need to make something of ourselves and leave a legacy behind us. Use what we have learned thus far and continue to learn more, but never stop. What we do now will matter later. So congratulations to the class of 2024. We did it, and today we are creating the legacy of tomorrow. Thank you. Well, I guess we did it. I was pretty nervous today considering that I had no idea what I was going to talk about. So I looked up some of the best ever graduation speeches online, and unfortunately for you guys, I won't be using any of those. While I personally have no more life experience than any of you, and I have no advice to give, I went to the wise words of one of my favorite people, Matthew McConaughey. And if you don't know who that is, look him up and you'll thank me later. Aside from McConaughey starring in rom-coms and taking over the hearts of women everywhere, including myself, he has a lot of life stories and advice that I find pretty valuable, and I think it's worth sharing with all of you. McConaughey wrote a memoir, and in it, he described the metaphor of a green light. He believes that a green light is being kind to our future self. It's the things in our life that affirm our way. They say, go, proceed, more, or please carry on. While yellow and red lights make us slow down in life. They can be crisis, hardship, intervention, and interruption. I have found that all red and yellow lights in life have revealed themselves to at least have a green light asset in the future. They have a lesson in them that we were supposed to learn. Any hardship, any pause we took, any intervention or interruption, they all have green light assets that will be revealed to us later. Red and yellow lights all eventually turn green in the rearview mirror. If you're still lost in this metaphor, here's some examples. Think back to the time that you passed that one test you thought you failed, or when we cheered on our best friends during the Panther Olympics, or when you were driving to get food in town after football games. Those are some green lights. Now think back to when we got let out for that 2-week break and ended up in a full pandemic, doing online classes and even competing in sports during COVID restrictions. I would call that a yellow light and at times a red. Now we can think back to the times we suffered the loss of our friends, our family members, and our role models, or the times we felt like life couldn't possibly get worse. And maybe you're in that place right now. Those are some of the hardest red lights. But as all things will, those reds teach us lessons and provide us with future green lights, even if that seems utterly impossible. And you can actually create your own green lights. You heard that right. You don't need to sit around and wait for something good to fall into your lap. And if you do, you might be waiting a while. Instead, go and do it yourself. I want to remind you all of a few other things before I finish. I know we have all heard how high school is the best years of our lives. And yes, I've had fun in high school. I've hit some major green lights, like going to Applebee's at midnight or jumping in the lake on the last day of school, or laughing with my friends so hard that I had tears streaming down my face. But when I get told that high school is the best years of my life, I get a little bit upset. You're telling me that high school gossip, Sunday nights, cramming in homework, staying after school to retake a math test, only to fail it again, and listening to Mr. Gordon's terrible music tape, that's the best it gets? Not only does that make me upset, but also terrified. In the absolute masterpiece of a movie, Transformers, Sam Witwicky says, 50 years from now, when you're looking back at your life, don't you want to say that you had the guts to get in the car? Now, not unless all my birthday wishes, 11/11, can wish upon a stars have come true, I will never be Megan Fox running around with Sam Witwicky and the Transformers while saving the plot. But this quote brings up a good question. In 50 years, will we be able to say that we got in the car? Did we take risks, take chances, go after a dream? Did we remember to live in the now, or did we settle for the mediocre? I want to remind you to live in the now. So many times we get focused on the future or the past, how good something will be, or how good something was, that we forget how good everything is. If we live till we are 70 years old, high school will be less than 5% of our lives. I know some of you are okay with the mediocre, it's comfortable and it's easy, but I once heard that you should always choose your hard. It's hard to be successful and it's hard to get in the car, but life's also hard when you're not successful and when you don't achieve your goals. So if it's gonna be tough anyways, choose your hard. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be 30 years old reminiscing about the good old days. I want to get in the car and whatever I do with my life, I want to love it. I want to hit every green light that I can. So when you're sitting at your next metaphorical red light, don't get so caught up thinking about your next stop or your last stop that you don't realize the light has already turned green. If you don't want to be mediocre, don't let this 5% of your life be the best. Turn the rest of your life into the best of your life. I'm so proud of you all for getting here today, and I hope that as you make your way through life, you can get in the car and recognize the green lights. Congratulations, class of 2024. I'd like to turn the time back over to Joanna Saldana to introduce our inspirational speaker for the evening. Okay, this year's graduation speaker will be none other than the man who doesn't wear socks during class, Mr. Gore.
Welcome. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down at 411 points, making it 38,441. Senior class, this will be the last time that I get to, in this setting, tell you what the Dow Jones was and welcome you to class. I'm really excited today to talk to you. And we've had a lot of memories in the last 4 to 6 years. Some of you I've known 6, some of you 4. And in trying to prepare, I know I wasn't the first choice of the speakers. I wasn't, come to find out, I wasn't even the second or the third. And I just stopped after a while because it just started really, frankly, hurting. But I have channeled the best Mr. Taylor that I can do. So if you look here, I've got the vest, the rolled up pants, and really, I tried to do the glasses because we got those too. And I think with a little bit of encouragement, I guess I'll find out what was said later. With a little encouragement, I think that we can get him to promise to donate those luscious locks to the Locks of Love with a promissory note that they go to Mr. Gore. I went to the toupee store and they didn't have Silver Fox toupee, so that's where the end of my. But I feel like I'm getting my channel of my Mr. Taylor. But tonight I do come to you, and you may not remember this, but I thought I'd remind you just one last time. I come to you as the Madison Fellow. So you have that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Folks, no, today, seniors, I promise I'm going to try to keep it quick and short. I did find out that I could probably make as much money as a teacher if I just spoke every year and then students paid me to quit my graduation speeches as quick as possible. So I'm going to try to do it really quick here. But I do want to remember a couple of things here. Number one, I wanted to, when I first started preparing, first of all, I just want you to take a second, sorry. You will never be in this kind of situation again. Sitting in the gym with all these loved people here, you may go into college, but you'll never be in the high school setting here like this again. And I want you to remember what that feels like, because you have dedicated a lot of time to this. You've dedicated 13, some of you more, years to, 13 years to this institution. And I want to have just one more time a conversation with my senior class. Just one more time where I can talk to you about the things. So we're to pretend that these other people here are not here. And this is just going to be us in a normal class setting, talking, listening to my great music, and having a great time with some life lessons, okay? So first of all, I wanted to find out what commencement, why do we call them commencement speeches? And I found out that commencement, I didn't know this, commencement comes from an old French word, which I can't say, which means the beginning. And I thought that was weird because I thought it would have been the opposite, right? A beginning, it means like the end, like we're done with high school. But this is really, truly, as Cicely said, this is the beginning, right? This is just a pit stop on your way to what you're going to be doing for the rest of your lives. And today I want to really do 2 things. Number one, I want to review some of the things that you've done. But 2, I want to, at the ripe old age of 35, tell you some of the life lessons I've learned. Because that's all I can give you, is the things that I've learned, and I hope that you can hear them out. So, like I said, at 35 and with my cupcake hands, Oscar, cupcake hands here, I want to tell you what I've learned, and you will probably forget 90% in about a week of what was said. Some of you are shaking your head, yes. But I hope that you guys can remember the feeling that you have. That's what's most important here, okay? So just to remember up what we've talked about here, remember when you guys came in as freshmen to my class and it didn't start off super well? I think that we had a love-hate relationship. You guys, I loved you and you hated me. Remember when the students in my class busted my Jefferson bus and my wax melts? Ty did replace those though, so no big deal, Ty. Remember the time that Ty told my wife when she was a substitute, how much she hated me? Did you know she was my wife? No. Do you remember the awesome notebook checks? Oh, come on. Do you remember when Poppy went to Mickey D's and got lost in New York for about 10 minutes? I will. Wonder why I don't have any hair. Do you remember when LJ stole my mic? And I really couldn't figure out what on earth or how on earth he did it. How did he get the best of me? How did LJ Pancake get the best of me? Do you remember being soaked at Rattlesnake Rapids and Packer was the only one that was dry in the entire raft? Yes, science teacher, do know. Do you guys remember when you guys let me for half the day walk around with my fly down? And the only indication that it was down was when Abby Wilcox was being red. Coach Happy, thank you. He was the only one that came to me at lunchtime and told me. So thank you. Now, hey folks, I am done reminiscing. That's over. We're now commencing. We are beginning. I have 5 pieces of advice that I'd like to give you today. Things that I think that I've learned that I'd like you guys to know as you commence your lives. So here we go. Number 1, be kind. In this world where you can be anything, being kind is maybe the most important thing that you can be. When I say being kind, I'm not saying just be naive and just do what anyone else tells you to do. I mean, stand up for your principles, but be kind. When incoming students come into school, I do judge them based on the way that they treat other students. And I will judge you on the way that you treat other people in the world. Be kind, because this world is full of hatred and anger. And when you can be a force that is kind to people, respectful to people, you'll find out that you can do a lot of powerful things. Kurt Vonnegut, who is the author of Slaughterhouse-Five, said one time, "We are here to get through this thing together, whatever this thing is. This is mortality. I don't know what this is. We made these traditions. They're older than me. They're older than you. And for good or bad, they're here. And we're doing the best we can. But I tell you that if you can just help other people get through this hard thing called life, and remember that as you sit here, you are incalculably lucky to be in America, you're lucky to be in southeastern Idaho, and you're lucky to have the faculty and the people, your parents, all the family, the surroundings. And even if you came from some bad situations, I give you my sympathy, but you are lucky that you were able to persevere and get through these things. You are so lucky when it comes to world events. I think you know that. Some of the kindness that you've shown me has demonstrated that. Millie was born just recently, a couple of months ago, almost 3 months now. And so many of you have been so kind to my family and myself, giving some nice little outfits, because I guess I can't dress well, according to Alexia. And all sorts of, even a student today made a blanket for her. And I just think how kind you have been to me and my family. And I thank you for that, especially where we started off so rough. As the great Gandalf said, and yes, I've got to use the Gandalf reference here. In Lord of the Rings, he said, Saruman believes that the only great power that can hold evil in check, only great power can hold evil in check. But that is not what I have found. I have found it is the small things, everyday deeds of ordinary folks that keep darkness at bay. You truly can be a good force of good. Now, you're going to fall short of this goal. You're going to mess up. You're going to be mean. I've been the end result of that many times. And when that happens, just remember that and apologize. Move forward. Be generous with your apologies and be very giving with your forgiveness. The world needs kind people. Here we go. Number 1 done. Only 4 more to go. Number 2, be healthy. Most of you in this class are going to be 100 years old when you grow up, right? And as you get older, there's one thing that you need to make sure that you do, and that is be active. I don't care what you really do. It could be yoga. Just don't sit down and eat and be pasty video game playing all day. People, go out and do things. Run, pump iron, hike, fish. Do things that get you going and move. Be kind to your body. You get this one body to live in, to experience in, to have moments in. The more generous you are to it now, the more kind it will be to you later. Just that's my sciatic nerve. It's hurting right now. Be humble. That's number 3. Be humble. Admit that you suck at things. Because you do. You're really good at some stuff. And yes, we want to celebrate all the things you've done. But you also are very bad at other things. And that's okay. Because so am I, and so are they, and so is everybody. Okay? One of the biggest insecurities I've found in my life of 35 years has been that people sometimes really have this need and this feeling that they have to live and pretend that they know everything, and they don't. You're young and so am I, believe it or not, and you have the opportunity to be a student. We can't all be teachers, can't all be like us, but you can be a student and be a lifelong learner. Be somebody who loves to learn, who wants to go out and is cautious about your opinions. In fact, I really like the Australian artist who said, his name is Tim Minchin, opinions are like bum holes. They all stink and everyone has one. And I like what he says next. He says, and you, my friends, with your opinions, should regularly get yours cleaned and also check it often. So please do so, because if you're not going to check your opinions, then who's going to? In a world where everyone's an expert, everybody has advice, everybody has something to say, be a learner, be a listener, do and try to learn new things. Don't always have to teach everyone everything. Sometimes just listen. Number 4, be curious. Last night when we dropped you guys off, I went home. Why is that funny? I went home, and as I was home, I went to bed, and then my son Johnny woke up. And I tried to put him back to bed, and he wouldn't go back. He was completely wide awake. And I finally, just out of frustration and exhaustion, said, Johnny, why don't you just go back to bed? He said, why? And I said, because you and me are both tired. He said, why? He said, because we've been doing stuff all day. Why? Because we're people who do things. We need to go to bed and get sleep. And they continued and continued. I said, Johnny, just go to bed. Be curious, ask the question why within reason, and make sure that you are always constantly investigating things. Albert Einstein said the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. People, we are different from the primates that we come from. We are able to use our frontal lobe. We are able to use cognition in order to investigate, try new things and do new things. And you should do it. You were just told, get into the car, explore, try lots of stuff. I'm going to tell you, advice is really good. You should listen to advice, but also be careful of it, because everybody has advice. Everybody's going to tell you things, and I have been hurt by advice that people have given me. So use it with caution. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to go out and do things. And lastly, I told you to do that. Be you. Find out who you are every single day and stay true to that. The moment I realized I could do anything I wanted to do, that I could hunt and I could fish and I could hike and I could work on cars, but I could also read poetry, go to ballets, listen to things like that. That's the moment I felt most liberated. I could do anything. I didn't have to be defined by what other people thought. Be a Da Vinci, be a Hemingway, be John Wayne, be a Mr. Taylor. Do it all. If you are, I can promise you that you're going to be a happier person. It's pretty amazing, this one life that you get to live, that you get to do what you want, that you get to spend your time with it. Remember, it's pretty short. It's 100 years, but soon we'll be old, and then we'll be dead, and then it'll be over. And you get one chance to go and do what you want to do. Don't let others define your parameters. You go out and do what you want to do and live the life that you want to live and spend it with the people that you want to spend it with. In class of 2024, I'm really grateful that I got to spend my life with you. And I hope you come back and say hi to me. I hope that you come visit with me. I hope that you teach me new acronyms, some that I can't say, here that aren't appropriate in any way, shape, or form. Class of 2024. Have nice lives.
Joanna was supposed to tell me I was coming up. Sorry, I wasn't sure, but we're now going to, get ready to award your certificates and diplomas. So, members of the school board, Superintendent Williams, family and friends, I have the honor to present to you the candidates from West Jefferson High School for this school year, 2023-2024. But you didn't think you were going to get off this easy, did you? Of course, I'm going to say just a few things. Last year, I sat in the teacher section and watched one of you who is graduating, who was cheering, it was right over there, who was cheering so loud for their sister. And I remember the next day at school that I found the student and I told the student, I said, you better be the one who's getting cheered for next year. They have a bet that I'm going to cry, so I'm not going to. You guys, this is all of you this year, and we're cheering for you. And what a privilege it has been. I lose to watch all the amazing things you've done this year. And what a privilege it has been to follow you around. I read an article recently about how high school teachers, and I'm going to include principals now, sit out in their car crying at the end of the school year. And I thought it was kind of interesting because it's a little bit different than elementary when the little kids leave. We know they're coming back. But for us, we've been around you for 4 years. And then you leave. And I've cried for this is now 27 years. And it's such a bittersweet moment. This is what we want for you, but we will dearly miss you. So before I read your names, I want you to do one last thing for me, and I hope you'll humor me. We'll do it quick. I want to make this a little bit more about you and to celebrate some of the amazing things you've done. So we're going to do something I used to love to do in my classroom. I didn't get to do it this year. But I want you to stand. This applies to you so that your parents can see and the crowd can see. So we'll start with maybe a hard one. I would love you to stand if you failed a test and then bounce back. Okay. We're going to keep getting up and sitting down so that you get a little workout here. Borrow someone else's notes for okay, do that. Okay, sit back down. Play a sport. And that can include any rodeo, cheer, outside of school, box, I don't care. There you go. What's in a club? FFA, PPA, CCLA, I just love our clubs here at the school. Right? Okay, you can sit back down, whether online or at our school, took a dual credit class. Okay, and I had to throw this one in. Once an English teacher, always an English teacher. Read, oh, I hope people stand. I read at least 10 books in the last 4 years. All right, and this might be for our real devoted fans. Never miss any school dance. Oh, okay. I was so worried, I didn't know who was gonna stand on that one, it looks like we missed the school dance. I'm gonna ask this one, I don't think it ever went viral, but I bet it stand. Made it viral TikTok or YouTube channel? This one, I don't know, I don't know, I suspicion there might be a few. First person in your family to graduate from high school. Okay, we're getting down to the very end. I love Cicely's talk too. English teacher metaphors. Here's one. And I think maybe all of us might find that. I hope it didn't happen, but overcame a personal challenge or struggle in the last 4 years. Served in any kind of leadership role, class council, club councils, seminary councils, student body office. Okay, back down. Last one. Anybody in the CTE or vocational area training programs that excelled in those? If you want to stand up. Anybody did that? CTE stuff? That is like okay. Man, I'll miss a lot of you guys. All of you guys. Please come and visit and chat on the orange couch. I'd love that this year. So now let's start this. Graduates, as your name is called, please come forward to be honored and receive your diploma. And we'll give our board members opportunity to come stand here. Alfonso Aguilar. Oh my God, that's never, yes. Come here. Come here. Araceli Aliman Vargas. James Larry Ander. Jaya Lynn Babcock. Cade Jacob Dowling. Sarah Joe Falter. Anaí Figueroa. Ophelia Garcia Ramirez. Darren Michael Grover. Cooper Kincaid Hall. Jasmine Hernandez. Cicely Jacobs. Brindy Johnson. Nicholas Leonardson. Bentley Jean Lounsbury. Javier Martinez. Jenny Mendoza Hernandez. Oh, I'm not gonna put on my big head. Jonathan Mendoza. Haley Lauren Moss. Branson Travis Neville. Oscar Noriega. Jordan Riley Palmer. Lee Jerry Canterbury. Cole Sylvester Richard. Brian Gary Rigby. Jaron Rojas. Giovanni Ruiz. Joanna Saldana. Lillian May Sauer. Hervé Serrano Ortiz. Ethne Ann Schaefer.
Right, it's upside down.
Ty Allen Shoup. Daniel Keelan Spencer. Katie Mae Stedman. Stetson Lee Stranger. Alexia Tafoya. America Daniela Tafoya. Heidi Lou Sarah Van Wagner. Hillary Jasmine Bardoff. Brooklyn Grace Wagner. Jenna Lee Wigman. Abby Joyce Wilcox. Gavin Thomas Williams. Aspen Olivia Young. Orange. I hereby petition the Vice Chairman, Andrea Rigby, of the West Jefferson School District School Board to certify the completion of the requirements of these amazing senior candidates.
As the school district vice chair, after careful review of the curriculum requirements and based upon the recommendation of our school principal, I have found that you have completed the requirements for graduation. I therefore certify these candidates for graduation have fully satisfied the requirements prescribed by the Idaho State Department of Education and West Jefferson School District. As the vice chair of West Jefferson School District, I duly certify that you have completed the requirements prescribed by the Idaho State Department of Education. I now confirm you high school graduates of West Jefferson High School for the 2023-2024 school year. Congratulations. It is now my pleasure to introduce LJ Conferring, Senior Class Vice President for the changing of the task.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time we've all been waiting for. At this time, ask you for the anthem. Now it's time to take the tassel from the right side to the left side. Thank you. West Jefferson alumni. Never forget what side you're Chapel goes on, because it always goes over fun. Thank you.
Let me be the first. Let me be the first to offer our warmest congratulations on a prosperous and successful future. This day signifies a new beginning for every one of us. In addition to earning the diplomas conferred upon us today, we have earned the right to be associated with a high special group of individuals. We can now call ourselves alumni of West Jefferson High School. Would all alumni please stand in the crowd? Alumni, by your applause, please welcome us to your ranks. If you want to. Okay. Let us safely enjoy our night of celebration with our family and friends. Thank you so much for being here and celebrating with us. Anna E., at this time, will you please lead us in a recessional out of the gymnasium? Thank you.